Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Creating Cards with Debbie. I want to thank you for being here today. When you come on, please leave a comment. Let me know that you're here and where you might be watching me from. It's fun to see where everybody is. Okay, so I'm just going to give a moment. I might have came on a little bit earlier. Okay. Today is Thursday, December 4th, 2025, and I have changed my days to Thursday instead of Mondays. It gives me a little more time to get prepared for the week. So I hope that works for everybody. All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn you down here. And well, let me do my introduction first. I did part of it. I said my name of my Facebook page and my YouTube page is Creating Cards with Debbie, but my name is Debbie Foster, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I'm located in Bismarck, Arkansas, and that's in the United States. So I want to welcome you here today. So we're going to be doing 3 Christmas cards today. Do y'all have your Christmas cards all done? I don't think I do. So this will add to my collection also. So it's a good thing to do today. And let me go ahead and turn you down here and we'll get started. All right. And like I said, I'm creating cards with Debbie, and you can shop in my store at this website that's flashing across the bottom of the screen, which says www.debbiefoster.stampinup.net. And you can shop for any of the items that I'm using today or any paper product items that you might be in need of. So I'll just give that a second to finish up here. And if you need to reach me by my email, that is right here, creatingwithdebbie179@gmail.com. If you have any questions on anything I'm doing today. And here's our paper pumpkin sign up. It's at the bottom of the screen. And right now, Paper Pumpkin is doing a special, which is right here. It says we have from December 1st to December 9th. It's Cyber Monday. And it says save on prepaid subscriptions. And I don't have my sheet here, but you can purchase a 3-month prepaid, a 6-month prepaid, or a 12-month prepaid. So if you have any questions on that, reach out to me and I'll give you more details on that. There is a savings if you do that. Okay, and this month's Paper Pumpkin is called Watercolor in Bloom. And you have until December 10th to sign up for this Paper Pumpkin kit. It says, show your love and appreciation with rich watercolor hues and elegant botanical flourishes. It makes 9 cards, 3 each of 3 designs with coordinating envelopes. It has copper foil and copper sequins, pre-cut paper and vellum pieces. Coordinating colors are copper, garden green, night of navy, which is the classic Stampin' spot that comes with this kit, pretty peacock, secret sea, shaded spruce. It says personalize your card greetings with customizable sentiment stamps. So I like that. It's got a space in the middle to put your sentiment in there. That's kind of different. Okay. And you can also purchase the dies that go along with the past 3 months. It would coordinate with the October, November, and the December Paper Pumpkin kits. And it's called Abundant Joy Dies. And this is item number 167855. And the price on those dies is $12. So this don't have to just be used for Paper Pumpkin. It can be used at any time. So that's a good thing. All right. And it started on December 1st. We've got product of the month. And you can get this paper, 12 by 12 designer series paper, for just $5 more when your order reaches $75. That's before tax and shipping. So you can add on the product of the month. And December's is the True Blue Florals 12 by 12 designer series paper. So you can see it's really pretty. And it says you must spend at least $75 in one order to purchase a product of the month. And make sure your cart total is at least $75 before shipping and tax. You can add this product on to your order for $5. And there's a different product each month that we're going to have. So this is December. It can be anything from paper to dies to stamps that they put on this product of the month. So it's kind of exciting to see what's coming next. We don't get a sneak peek of what's coming ahead of time. So we're being surprised like everybody else. Okay. All right. Do I need to? I think I've gone through everything that I've got up there. And again, I'd love to have you sign up with me to get your starter kit. Oops. And what this is, you pay $99 for your kit. You pick out $125 worth of product, and it's free shipping. And you don't have to do what I do. You can just do it to get your discount. So we call those hobbyist or discount shopper demos. So again, with that, if you have any questions, reach out to me. And I'm going to leave that there for a moment. And I'm going to remove that, bring you back to my desktop. All right, and I think I've got everything that we needed to talk about. So let's go ahead and get on with our cards. And like I said, we're doing Christmas. And let me take this banner off. Bring my comments up here. Like I said, be sure you comment and say hello when you come on. Let us know where you're watching from. And this is our first card. Let me get all my bits and pieces out here. And we shall get started. Make a little room here. Crowding myself here a bit. All right. It looks like my camera's a little crooked, so let's see if I can straighten that out any. That's better. Okay, so Merry Christmas. And on the inside, I've got peace, love, and joy at the bottom of that. And we are using the stamp sets, which are the traditional labels and the Peace on Earth. So we use this sentiment here. So the two stamp sets we use. And let me get my instructions out here. I'm kind of out of sorts because I've been a couple weeks since I've been live. We had Thanksgiving last week, so I didn't do a live. So I'm trying to get back in the swing of things here. Okay, we're going to be using our Real Red cardstock to do our card base. And that measures 4 1/4 inches. Whoops, what happened to my camera? I didn't want to show my lap. Are you going to stay there? Stay there. And what happened? I must have bumped it or something. Okay, so Real Red cardstock for our card base, 4 1/4 inches by 11 inches, and then it's scored in the middle at 5 1/2 inches. So we're just going to burnish that fold line. And I'll set that aside for a moment. That went crashing to the floor. All right, and then we've got some gold foil paper that measures 4 1/8 inches by 5 3/8 inches. And that's going to be the mat that goes onto our card. And then I also have a basic white that measures 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And we're going to stamp our sentiment on here first, and then we're going to emboss that. So let me stamp our sentiment down at the bottom. Merry Christmas. And I'm just using our black Memento ink. Oh, that's giving a glare. Let me set that aside there. Don't have blinding you. All right. I'm going to stamp my Christmas sentiment or word first. Get that inked up, and it's going to go towards the bottom middle. And then we'll stamp our Mary on top. And let me see where I want to put that. I want to center it over the Christmas. That's a little bit crooked, but that's okay. That's going to bug me. Let me turn that over and redo it. That's why we have two sides to our paper. Mary. And bring back our Christmas. And trying to get this straight. All right, that's much better. Put those aside. Close up our ink pad. And I'm going to emboss this using the embossing folder, the Birchwood 3D embossing folder. You can kind of see that. So I'm going to go over to my machine. I'm going to run that through. So hold tight. And a little bit of shaking of the camera. Okay. So I don't know. Yeah, the camera's picking it up. It gives little grooves in it. So there's our white layer. I'm going to go ahead and attach that to our gold foil. And I'm going to use my liquid glue. When I have an embossed layer like this, I want to make sure I get up towards the edges fairly good so it doesn't lift on me. And I add probably more than I do normally to that layer. And leave a small border going around our gold foil. And am I straight? Yeah, looks straight to me. Reach up in my chair here so I don't fall off. All right, and we can attach that to our card front. Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving last week. Ours was good. We didn't do the traditional turkey and all that fixins. We did tacos and burritos, which was good. A real good change. Sometimes you just get tired of turkey. You don't want to do that. So we changed it up a bit and it worked out good. I'm not sure what we're going to do for Christmas, what's on the menu. We haven't decided yet. All right, so set that aside. And then I've got a real red that is 3.5 inches by 3 1/4 inches. And that's going to go onto our center up here. And oops, that's not going to work very good. Okay, I've got my words up too far. Cutting it off. So let me, I may have to shorten my red. That's a 3 1/4. I wonder if the 3 inch would be long enough. Maybe 2 7/8. Let's chop that down to 2 7/8. So we're already messing up. We just got started. That's all right. 2 7/8. The width is okay. It's just the length. It's not going to allow us to show our words. I put them up too high. Should have had them down lower. Okay, that works. Okay, so that measured 2 7/8 by 3 1/2. And then I've got our designer series paper which comes from, get that over here. This is the Traditions of Christmas, and very pretty. I'll kind of flip through here so you can see those. Get them out of here. One side's got the gold foil on it, the other side doesn't. Very, 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 very pretty. I love this paper. Okay. So that's just a sneak peek. Okay, so I shortened this down. I need to shorten that down also. So trying to see which way it goes. I think it goes this way. And bring my paper trimmer back over here. So 2 7/8. I need to cut it down to maybe 2 3/4. Okay, take a little snip off of that. And then we're going to cut our designer series paper, which measures 2 3/4 by 3 inches. I'm going to cut 1 inch 3 times. There's one. You want to keep them in order so that they'll match up on your card front. Oops, move down me. Okay. It goes down in the direction that they're supposed to go in order. All right, and these are going to go onto our real red layer. And I'm going to just space them a little bit, so you have a little space in between each one. So I'm going to start with this one. And I'm going to turn it sideways so I can see better. And keeping an even border on the 3 sides. And then our center. Okay. Just scooch that just a little bit. The good thing about the liquid glue, you got time to move it if you need to. Gives you some wiggle room. I like the back side of this paper too, the plaid looking one. And this one will go onto there. All right, that looks good. Now we can attach that to our card front. And you could put this on dimensionals if you wanted to, but I think I'm just going to glue it directly down. That way, if I mail it, it will go through the mail a lot easier with no problems. And I'll attach that upper center. Okay, press that down for a moment, make sure it attaches real good. So here we are so far. And I'm going to work on the inside. This is our basic weight, 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And we're going to stamp our sentiment at the bottom of that. I'm taking the sentiment that's from the Peace on Earth, the sentiment here. And bring our black memento back over here. Ink that up. And I'm going to stamp it at the bottom area, centered. Close that up so we don't have an accident. And then we can attach that to the inside of our card. Oops. Open that. So how's everybody doing with their Christmas shopping? Have you started yet? Are you finished? Needless to say, I haven't even started yet. Okay, so now we want to add some bling, more bling to that other than the gold foil. I'm going to be using the Delightful Decorative Dots. And I take your pick tool to get those off. I'm going to add 3 to the front of our card. And I'm going to use the red. So I'm going to use a large one, and then a medium one, and then a small one. So I think I'll put it there, put a medium. And right there, and then a small one can go in this area. Well, okay. I don't like it there. Let's scooch it up a little bit. There. Kind of like a triangle. All right. Set that aside. So here's our first card. I didn't put no bow on it, but you could add a bow if you wanted to, but I just left it without. I've got enough bling and everything going on already with the gold foil and then our embellishments. So Merry Christmas, peace, love, and joy. So that's card number 1. Let me clean up a little bit here. All right, then our next card is another Christmas one. Make some room here. Here's the card. Let me get all my bits and pieces out here that I'll be using. And I did a lot of the prep work ahead of time, so it'll save us a little bit of time. All right, so Merry Christmas, and I heat embossed white embossing powder on the label. And then I die cut some gold leaves to add to that. 'Tis the Season is on the inside. And get our instructions out here. All right, again, we're going to be using the Real Red cardstock. And this one measures 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches. And then it's scored in the center at 4 1/4 inches. So we're just going to fold that and then burnish that fold line. And we're going to go landscape orientation. Okay, I don't want to lose my bits and pieces here, so let me set those aside. Let's see inside. Okay, I've got another gold foil that I cut, which is 4 1/8 inches by 5 3/8 inches. And then I die cut my leaves out of the center of that. I use the dies that are in the Layers of Beauty dies. So let me show you which ones I used. I used this one, and where's my other one at? Right here. So those 2 dies out of the Layers of Beauty dies. So like I said, I already die cut those. And here they are. have two of the bigger ones and then one of the smaller one. So I'm going to go ahead and attach that to our card front. Let's scooch these away for a minute. So that center is not going to show anyway, so I saved my gold foil by cutting out the center, which isn't going to show for my leaves. All right, let me look at that. It's kind of blinding me, the glare off the lamp. All right, so I've got that done. And then we're going to add our designer series paper, which is from that same pack we used previously. It's the back side, but we're going to use this side. And this measures 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. So let's go ahead and attach that to our gold foil. We'll cover up those holes in the center. Nobody will even know, except us. All right. I'm trying not to get glue onto our gold foil. I'm making sure that's right side up. Don't think it matters. Okay, just a small border going around. And I've still got some wiggle room. So I'm going to slide that around where I want it to be. Let's put you back in camera view. Okay, so far. And then die cut our basic, our real red using the traditional labels dies. It's got quite a few in here. It's got 7 of them, different frames. We're using this one. And I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and die cut that. Let me grab my real red paper. We've got time. Okay, there's real red. I might have a big enough scrap in here to cut one out. Yeah. Oh, now it got stuck in there. Get out of there. All right. Be stubborn. Like I said, this is our real red cardstock. And I'm going to grab my mini cut and emboss machine. And we'll die cut that. My plates. My fingers aren't working today. All right. And that looks good. We'll run that through our machine. Try not to jiggle the table too much. Lights out of the way. And here's our label. It's kind of unique because it's got these little edges on it. It looks like I tore that one a little bit, but I don't think it'll show. Well, no. I need to cut another one. I don't like that showing. Bring it back over here. And we'll try that again. Where did I put the die at? And I don't have enough paper. I'm not going to look through all that to find. I'm just going to use one that's already, well, it doesn't fit. Here's one. To cut down my paper. Yep, so it fits in there. And my top blade. All right, let's try this again. Okay, I'm going to save that for another time. I might have gotten too aggressive with it. Okay. Let's see. I did it again. Well, all right, now we're going to heat emboss this. I might bring this one back over and use that one instead. I guess I can patch that back together when I glue it down. All right, we're going to heat emboss this, and I'm going to use our white embossing powder. Use my scrap of paper there. Bring my toolkit stuff over here. And we're going to start out with our embossing buddy to get rid of any static cling on there. Or the oils from our fingers too will cause the embossing powder to stick where you don't want it to. And we're going to take our powder, our birthmark, and we're going to stamp Merry Christmas. I'm going to clean these off real quick first. And I'm going to stamp our Christmas first. Using my Versamark pad. And okay, there's Christmas. And now we want the Merry. Okay. Put it back on our Versamark pad. And our white embossing powder. I'm being generous with it because I want to make sure it's got a good coverage. I'm going to use my reverse tweezers that are in that toolkit, embossing toolkit that I have. And add a little bit more, tap it. Okay, now we can put this back in our jar.
A new station alert has arrived.
Goodness. We must have some weather coming in. It's cloudy out there. Looks like it wants to rain or do something, but it's cold. All right, and we'll grab our heat gun. Let that warm up. It takes just a moment for it to get heated up to the right temperature. But once it does, it doesn't take long at all to melt the embossing powder. I'm going to do the back side just to make sure that it's all done. All right. Put that down. Okay. And we're going to place this up on dimensionals. Check out my dimensionals right here. And I'm going to do my take your pick tool right here. I'm going to use the pokey end. And I'm going to grab our full size embellishment or dimensionals. And I'm going to put one on each side. And one on the center. Oh, come on. That one didn't want to lift off my paper. All right. That should be enough. Take those dimensional backings off. Toss them in my trash bowl. I got embossing powder there. Let me bring our card back over. And I'm going to place that centered. Make sure I want my card open in the right direction. Yeah. Center that. All right, now I'm going to bring my gold leaves over here, and we're going to add those. So I'm going to put one up here, one here, and this one's going to go inside of our bow after we attach that. I'm going to get these stuck in first. Sorry, I forgot to mute my notifications. All right. Turn this sideways a little bit, and I'm going to slip that up underneath our label. And do the same with this one. Just a little bit of glue at the bottom. It's enough to hold it. Get the glue to come out will work better. All right, and this one's going to go up in this corner. And then I made a bow already using, where did I put the ribbon at? I thought it was in there. All righty. Okay, I think I stuck it in the wrong one. Yeah, I did. I stuck it in my next card. Okay, this is the shiny ribbon, it's called. And it is real red shiny ribbon. I've already made our bow. So I'm going to add that to our lower portion here with a mini glue dot. So I think I'm going to add two to make sure it stays in place. And it's going to go in our lower portion here. And I'm going to take this other leaf and I'm going to just slip that into the center of our ribbon. And I'm going to use a mini glue dot that comes in our paper pumpkin kits each month. It's a little bit smaller than our regular mini glue dots are. And just going to add that. I think that's enough to hold it. Let me put that in there and find out. Yes, it does. Okay, I got that taken care of. And I'm going to trim down my tails to my ribbon a little bit. Okay. Position my ribbon a little bit better. It's kind of a funky looking bow. Yeah, I'll let it be. All right, so there's the outside of our card. Merry Christmas. And let's work on the inside. We've got a basic white, 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And we're going to stamp "'Tis the Season" with our black laminating ink. We've got a lot of new items that were added to the last chance list. So you might want to check out those and get you a good bargain. There's quite a few things in there. And that's while supplies last. So if there's something you're really wanting that's in there, you need to act quickly. I guess is what I'm trying to say. All right, and then we're going to add, I've got a piece of that gold foil. I think I'm going to add that to the bottom of this layer and use our Tombow glue. All right, just along the bottom edge. And get these up on my grid line so I can see if it's straight or not. I think it might be pretty good. Press that down. I'll come back in with the scissors and we'll trim off that excess. Now we can put that on the inside of our card. I don't have very many on today, so everybody must be busy. But I hope they'll catch the replay, watch it later. And you can also comment on the replay if you want. Say where you're watching from, maybe. Okay, Merry Christmas. 'Tis the season. That's card number 2. Get some things out of my way here. Okay, I did have a scrap of red in there I could have used. Didn't realize that was in there. And last but not least is our 3rd Christmas card. Okay, it says Merry Christmas, and it's heat embossed with the gold. And the same ribbon, same paper. Wishing you the sweetest Christmas. And this comes from the Jar of Joy. It has a punch that goes along with it right here. Yeah, but I think you have to buy them separately. They're done a bundle. And also, I used the Merry Christmas out of the Long Time No See. All right, let's get our instructions all out here. And my card over here. This is a little bit of a fun fold. We've got our real red cardstock. Measures 5 1/2 by 6 inches, and then it's scored at 4 1/4 inches. So need to burnish that fold line. And then we've got our designer series paper, which comes from that same pack. And I'm using this pattern and then this pattern. So this is going to go onto our flap here. And this is going to attach to that same flap. We're going to match it up to the outside edge, leave a little border on the right side, and then we're going to put glue just on this side. So let me add some glue to that flap right along the edge. And we're going to butt up against the back, the bottom and the top of our card base. But I want to leave just a little edge here. So now it's the card front. Finish it off. And then we're going to take this. Oh, I forgot to give you the measurement on the designer series paper. This one is 5.5 inches by 3 inches. And the left side is 1 1/8 by 5.5 inches. So they're both going to butt up against each other. I'll have these dimensions on my blog later today. All right, I'm going to put that right up against that other one. So we're just going to have a little bit showing of the red. So you just barely see a thin line. It opens like this. All right. I was going to say I could do the inside, but I think I'll continue with the outside first. I've got a real red die cut. These come from the Stylish Shapes dies. And I used this size to cut that out with. And we're going to work on our snowman. I've got a piece of window sheet and just a scrap piece. I don't need to give the measurement on it. And we're going to heat emboss gold for our jar. Okay. Trying to figure out what I want to do here. Need that and yeah. I'm missing one. It's right in front of me. I'm okay today. All right, bring back our tools here to use. And put that away, bring out the gold. All right, I'm just going to get rid of some static cling onto our acetate window sheet. And my Versamark. Make sure I ink that up really good with our Versamark. And trying to see where I want this at. Okay. And then I'm going to stamp the lid. And I want to see. All right, put those aside. All right, now we need to bring our paper back out here. I'm going to add our gold embossing powder to that. Maybe a little bit more in there to be sure. All right. That looks good. Add that in there. Bring our heat tool back over here. Let's put the lid on that so it doesn't blow it all over. Yes, you can heat emboss on the window shades. Starting to work. Okay. Don't take long when it's heated up all the way. All right, now we're going to punch these out using the punch that goes along with the jar of joy. And let's do that. I'm going to turn this upside down to see. Well, I'm going to put this over on my table. I don't want to break my glass mat. Punch is a little hard, but it works. And cut this out of the way so I can get that in there. Trying to line up that. Well, let me cut this off shorter. Now we got it. Just see my strength here. Works better if I lay it upside down, push it on the table to pop it out. You don't have the strength in your hands and arms. Okay, let's put this up. And just grab a white inside. Must have a small piece here somewhere. This is big enough. No, that's not big enough. Hold on a second. I'm looking for some scraps of white. There we go. So I'm going to punch that out one more time so I can stamp my snowman on the inside of our globe. Yeah. We don't need the lid. I'll put that away. Embossing powder. All right. So we're going to stamp our snowman on the white punched out, the jar. Oops. Yeah, we did. I thought I goofed here. Ink up our snowman and kind of center him in the middle of our jar. And we'll close that up. All right. And now we're going to stamp his scarf and everything. Need the snowflakes. I'm using Real Red ink pad and then the Pool Party ink pad. These are our old ones, but they still work, so I haven't replaced them yet. So I'm going to take the Real Red and try not to put my fingers in the red, which is usually what I do. Okay, we're inking up the little scarf and then the top of, or the brim of his hat with our Real Red. Close that. And then we're going to add some Pool Party snowflakes. I forgot something I need to grab here in a minute. I had some blends here. What do I do with those? Here they are. I'm going to color his nose using the dark peach pie. And then I'm going to use a light pool party. And I'm going to add a little to the snow and the snowman. All right, just a little. Now we're going to attach this to our punched out window sheet. We're going to put some glue around that. I'll use my reverse tweezers to pick that up with. And we'll lay that down onto our snowman. And all right, I'm just going to trim off the edges because it's a little bit bigger in the jar. Get rid of that white. Okay, a little bit more off the bottom. All right. Now this is going to attach to our red circle. And I'm just going to glue it down directly. No dimensionals. Like I said, it goes through the mail easier when you've got less thickness. Okay. Now we can put that on the front of our card. All right. Just go top to bottom. Yeah. I'm going to add my bow to this, but let me finish my jar here. We'll put the lid down. And oh, got too much. Spread that around. Put that onto the top of our jar. Okay, and then I've got another real red, which measures okay, it's 3/4 inches by 5 inches, and we're going to add our ribbon to that. So just place that down. I'm going to use my tear and tape to hold that down in place. Okay, and place it right in the center of that 3/4 inch wide real red. Not yet here. All right, what have I done? look better if I put it on a flat surface here. All right, and that's going to go to the back side to hold our ribbon. And take your pick tool. I have misplaced it. It's probably sitting right here in my face. There it is. Oops. Lift that off. And then I'm going to take my ribbon, attach it to the back side, and then bring it down in front. I still haven't found my silicone mat yet. I miss it. I don't know where it went to. And then we're going to snip that off. Attach that. Notifications going off here. I forgot to turn them off. Okay, we're going to attach that to that side panel. Okay. Put it down in the center, and it's going to go from top to the bottom. Matches it. All right, give that a moment to attach itself with the glue. And did I not make a bow? I didn't make a bow. All right, so we'll bring our bow maker over here and we'll make us a bow. And I'm going to go do a pretty large one. All right. And I'm going to turn my ribbon to the inside, flip it. Yeah, let me see here. I got one side bigger. And it's going to go onto our spline here with the mini glue dots. Yeah. And I'm going to put that centered, give or take, and trim off that excess of ribbon. I think I'm going to slip another one up underneath there. Keep losing my take your pick tool. I've got a pokey tool here. I'll use that. If you could see my desk, you'd know why I'm losing things. It's a mess. Okay. All right, so far. And now we're going to heat emboss the Merry Christmas. So let me bring that back over. Okay. Merry Christmas. And that comes from, where did that come from? Okay, it came from the Long Time No See. So Merry Christmas. And again, we need our red paper. I just threw one over here a minute ago. Well, it's easy to lose things, I guess. Maybe there's enough room on this one. We'll use this one. All right, our embossing buddy. Get rid of static cling. It doesn't matter how big our paper is because we're going to fussy cut it out anyway. Let me get this out of the way. Bring my Versamark back over here. Our gold embossing powder. Merry Christmas. Hard to believe it's that time of the year already. This year has gone so fast. All right, and bring that paper back over here. Gold embossing powder. Put a little more on there. Okay. It's back in the jar. Waste not, want not. And heat them. Starting. All right, we're going to fussy cut that out. Get that excess. Get around there right. Okay. I'm just going to go on to the top part of our card. And right about there looks good. I think I got all that gold right there. I have to put everything back on. Finish it. Another thing. Okay. All right. Merry Christmas. And it opens like this. And you can see the back side of the paper. Let's do the inside with a basic white, 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And we'll stamp the inside. Wishing you. Oh no. Did I not have that one out here? I don't think I did. A stamp set back over here. I didn't put it on the block yet. That might be why I couldn't find it. And we're just stamping this with the black memento. Let's see where I stamped that at. Okay, off to the left side, upper left. Okay, wishing you the sweetest Christmas. Move all my stamps out of the way here. Close this up. I don't think I put anything else on the inside. Let me double check here. Nope, it's the sentiment. All right. And we'll place that down on the inside of our card, leaving a small border going around it. All right. And I didn't put any other embellishments on there, so as is. So Merry Christmas with our little snowman in the globe. Wishing you the sweetest Christmas. And we're showing the DSP on both sides this way with this card design. Cute little fun fold. Okay, so let's bring all of our cards back out here. So tell me which one you like the best. What's your favorite one? I don't know. That's kind of a hard decision to make. I like all of them. Maybe this one. All right, so that's our cards for today. And I will be back next week. Same time, same channels. And it will be December 11th at 10:30 Central Time. So until then, y'all have a good rest of your week. Hope you have some crafting time in there somewhere. It's good for the soul, good for the mind. And we will see you next week, December 11th, 10:30 Central Time. So bye-bye.